Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another discography ranking. Today we're going to be looking at the discography of one of my favorite bands of all time, heavy metal. It's got the metal god Rob Halford, Glenn Tipton on guitars, and KK Downey also on rhythm guitar, bass player. I forgot his fucking name. I've also forgot the drummer's name. They've had a couple different drummers. Anyway, today we're going to be ranking the discography for Judas Priest. I'm going to get this right off the bat. I am not a fan of the Tim Ripper Owens era of the band. However, I do enjoy some of KK's Priest. I'm not going to lie. I did like that new song that just came out, One Shot at Glory. There's a new album that came out. I haven't listened to the whole thing. Just listen to the one song. But I will say that I really don't care for the two Tim Ripper Owens albums. He sounded alright, and I do like a few songs, but as you can tell from this ranking, you'll see that I'm not a big fan of Tim Ripper Owens. I actually like his solo stuff quite a bit, though. Okay, so, they have 18 studio albums, only 2 with Tim Ripper Owens, and then, the rest are with Rob Halford. Alright, number 18 is going to be Jugulator from 1997. I hate this album. It is the worst Judas Priest album ever. There is a couple of good songs on it. 3. Burn in Hell, Castrol, Strides, and Bullet Train are okay. But yeah, not really much on that album that I really care about to listen to very much. Burn in Hell is a good song, though, and Castrol Strides is a pretty good, longer song. Alright, number 17 is going to be Demolition, the second and final album with Tim Ripper Owens. I didn't hear these two albums with Tim Ripper Owens until much, much later. I was a big fan of Judas Priest for a while now, a few years now. But there are 2 songs I think are okay on this album, Machine Man and One on One. That's really it. And then most people would have this as their absolute worst because actually it's very boring and I'm just not a big fan of this album. But this was the second album with Rob Halford back in the band after he returned in 2005. So this is Nostradamus from 2008, and this is the worst album they've ever done. There are 2 songs I think are okay. Dawn of Creation and Awakening are decent. Other than that, very, very weak material. The next album is Redeemer of Souls, which from 2014, which marked KK leaving the band and Richie Faulkner joining, and I love Richie Faulkner. He is a great guitar player. Good replacement for KK, I believe so. And I like what KK is doing in KK's Priest. There's a couple good songs on here. Dragonaut, Redeemer of Souls, but really that's about it. Let's move on. Number 14 is going to be Rockarola from their 1974. This was the first album they ever did. Al Atkins, who was the original singer, left the band, and Rob Halford joined, and better singer. I like this album quite a bit. It's my number 14. I like One for the Road, Rockarola. Run of the Mill is an amazing song. I absolutely love Run of the Mill. Never Satisfied and Winter Retreat, Deceiver, Cheater, all those are really good too. Number 14, Rockarola, great album. I don't think Rob Halford is a fan of this album. He's spoke publicly about it, and I don't know if he likes it. I don't think he does. I think he's saying that they didn't really find their sound until Stained Class. But anyway, yeah, that's my number 14. Great album. Check it out. My number 13 is going to be Turbo from 1986. A lot of people don't like this album. And one of my songs on here, a lot of people hate. And you'll see in a minute. I'm going to show you guys. So, number 1, I picked 3 songs. But I like the whole album, actually. Turbo Lover, Out in the Cold is an amazing song. Absolutely love Out in the Cold. Great song. But the song on here I'm going to get ridiculed for picking is I love Wild Nights, Hot and Crazy Days. I don't know why people hate that song. And maybe it's a little cheesy, but it's fun. I like it. Alright, my number 12, I actually probably would have put this higher on the list. That's probably my number 14 or 15, I don't know. But I'm not a big fan of this one. Ram It Down from 1988. Ram It Down is a good song. Their cover of Johnny Be Good is okay. And I like the song Heavy Metal. Really, there isn't much to talk about with Ram It Down. The next album, I think they would do a little bit better because the next one was Painkiller. Number 11 is going to be Firepower of 2018, the second album with Richie Faulkner on guitar after KK left. And I love this album from start to finish. This is an amazing album. Firepower, Lightning Strike, Never the Heroes, and Spectre, amazing songs. I listened to this album just the other day and I loved it. I mean, it wasn't the first time I listened to it. Really good stuff on here. Number 10 is going to be Sin After Sin from 1977. I think it was their third album. This is when they really found their sound. Sinner's a great song. Their cover of Diamonds and Rust, Starbreaker, Distant Aggressor, which is actually later on would be covered by Slayer. I like this version better than Slayer's. I do a lot. Last Rose of Summer, that whole album's great. Number 9 is going to be Point of Entry from 1981. Heading Out to the Highway, Don't Go is one of my favorites. Desert Plains, just really good stuff on Point of Entry. Alright, sorry I'm moving a little fast, but I'm going to get through this quick. Number 8, my number 8 is going to be Angel of Retribution, 2005. This would mark the return of Rob Halford permanently in the band, and this one's a good one. Judas Rising, Deal with the Devil. Angel's like a slow song. They don't usually do slow songs. Out of the Cold is sort of slow like that, I guess. Anyway, great album. Check it out. My number 7 is going to be Defenders of the Faith from 1985. Free Will Burning, Jawbreaker, and The Sentinel. I love this album a lot. Eat Me Alive, also a good song. Is also a good song. But yeah, that's my number 7. Number 6 is going to be Screaming for Vengeance. Ah! I can't sound like Rob Halford. This album's great from start to finish. Electric Eye, Screaming for Vengeance, You Got Another Thing Coming. Awesome. Riding on the Wind. Absolutely amazing. The Helen, or whatever the fuck you say, however you say it. Great stuff. Number 5 is going to be Killing Machine, or I believe this was either the UK or the US release. Depending on where you are in the world, this album might have been called Hellbent for Leather. But either way, Killing Machine or Hellbent for Leather was released in 1979. It is a damn good album. My number 5. Delivering the Goods. Evening Star. I don't want to get copyrighted. Hellbent for Leather. The Greenman Alishi with the two-pronged crown. Killing Machine. Great album. I love this album from beginning to end. Just so many good songs on this album. Number 4. Not a surprise. A lot of this, I've seen people put this at number 1, but it's my number 4. Painkiller from 1990. Oh my god. Just fucking amazing. This will be the final album with Rob Halford until 2005 with Angel of Retribution. And this one, just like Retribution, damn, I can't talk, is really good. Painkiller, All Guns Blazing. I shouldn't be singing. I don't want to get copyrighted. Metal Meltdown almost sounds like a King Diamond song, kind of. Here comes the mental meltdown. Enough of that. Anyway, Between the Hammer and the Avil, Avil. Amazing song. A Touch of Evil is one of my favorite music videos of all time. One Shot at Glory is a really good song, too. Alright, now we're down to number 3. My top 3. And then I'm going to do an honorable mention. Well, really, the only thing that's to honorable mention is I'm going to briefly talk about Unleashed in the East, and I'm going to briefly talk about the 2 honorable mentions, which are the 2 new singles, Panic Attack and Trial by Fire. I'm going to talk about those and tell you my thoughts on those after I do I will do that as soon as I get done doing my top 3. All right, here we go. Sad Wings of Destiny from 1976. Amazing album. I love this album. I love Victim of Changes. Long, epic song. Amazing. Dreamer Deceiver is one of my favorite Judas Priest songs ever. I love the hippie, slow sound on this one. But my number 3 on that is going to be The Ripper. Great song. Tim Ripper Owens would later take that title and steal the name. Anyway, my number 2 is going to be British Steel from 1980. Absolutely amazing. I love this album a lot. That's why it's my number 2. Rapid Fire, Metal Gods, Breaking the Law. The Rage is another one of my favorites. Living After Midnight. Living. Okay, I'm not going to keep singing. I don't want to get copyrighted. You Don't Have to Be Old to Be Wise. I could have put the whole album on this list. Love that album. But my number 1, not a surprise probably to anybody, is Stained Class. Oh my fucking god, this album is the greatest album of all time. It's one of the greatest albums of all time. That's why it's number 1. It came out in 1978. It was their third album. I could be wrong on that one. Okay, so Sin After Sin came out in 77. Rock'n'Rolla came out in 74. And okay, so a year before Stained Class came out, Sin After Sin came out. So this one is like their third or fourth album. Anyway, Exciter, great song. White Heat, Red Hot. Better By You, Better Than Me, their cover of a Spooky Tooth song, is a great cover. And my favorite song on the album is Beyond the Realms of Death, and then the title track, Stained Class, is really, really good too. Alright, time to move on to the honorable mentions part of this whole thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to briefly talk about the 2 new singles that just came out for their new album, Invincible Shield. I'm very excited for this, but it won't come out until next year. We still got a few months until it comes out. I'm very excited for it, but we got 2 singles to talk about, and then we got Unleashed in the East. I want to briefly talk about Unleashed in the East real quick. So Unleashed in the East was an album that they did, a live album. I don't normally talk about live albums very much. I want to make a video where I talk about my top 10 or top 5 favorite live albums of all time. Kiss Alive will be on there for sure. Anyway, Unleashed in the East, there's some really good stuff on here. The live version of the Green Mean Alicia, the live version of Exciter, Victim of Changes, Rock Forever is a great song. Delivering the Goods, Hellbent for Leather, Starbreaker, The Ripper, Running Wild, Center. Great stuff on Unleashed in the East. Great live album. Highly recommend it. Alright, now let's briefly talk about the 2 new songs, Panic Attack and Trial by Fire. Trial by Fire is this really cool song. There's like bells at the beginning. Almost has a Victim of Changes vibe. I love that song. I liked it a lot. And Panic Attack was great too. I love the little weird intro. I don't know if it's weird, but this like intro like you know, something like that. It was really good. But yeah, guys, that is going to end this video. Again, a very short video, just giving my thoughts on the entire discography of one of my favorite bands, Judas Priest. And later on, I do want to make a video talking about Rob Halford's solo albums, as well as the 2 Fight albums that he did. And if I ever get around to listening to it, don't ask me why, but I kind of want to also throw in 2, the really shitty solo album that he did that really, it was not received well at all. A lot of people hated it. I want to check it out and see if it's any good and add it to the list of things to talk about. I need to do more discography rankings and shit. I got Black Sabbath done yesterday, or today, I can't remember when it was uploaded. I'm going to get more Walking Dead reviews in, believe it or not, and then I'm going to do more gaming videos. I want to do a Let's Play of SimCity 2000 or SimCity 3000. I've been wanting to play more video games recently, and I haven't really been doing that. But yeah, stay tuned for more Walking Dead reviews. Stay tuned for, I'm going to do a video talking about Fear the Walking Dead. I'm going to do a video kind of talking about the Walking Dead comics. I want to read the Rise of the Governor story arc, and I want to review it. I need to get all of the Walking Dead comic compendiums. I only have the first one. If I get the other 3, I have the entire series. And then I'll buy the Rise of the Governor storyline. There's a Negan storyline that I have, I think, called Here's Negan. I don't have the Alien. I don't have a lot of the comic books. I have a little bit, though. Anyway, that's going to be this video for today. I am finishing up Season 11 of The Walking Dead. Got about 8 more episodes to go until I'm done with it, and then I will get a review for this season. Or I want to, I'm going to do every season of The Walking Dead. I'm going to try to do every season of Fear 2 once I get around to watching all of, finishing up the last 3 seasons of Fear that I haven't seen. Alright, but I'm getting off topic. This video is running on a little longer than I wanted it to. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.